So I'll just introduce this a little bit. Of course, nothing's the same. The whole point of this will be trying to like a persuasive essay to try to get you to actually see one and for yourself. But I will show you a little bit about the surroundings and what it looked like up there. So as Paul mentioned, I was in the Grand Teton Valley up in eastern Idaho, close to Yellowstone. And there were some people. This was actually a person that ran a astrophysics center in Switzerland. He set up really incredible equipment. He was setting up for 2 days before the eclipse. So I just took the welcome mat off his car and just set it on the ground to kind of welcome me into the whole thing. You don't need all the high-tech equipment, obviously, but he had a lot of that also. Okay, go ahead, Bruce. Yeah. Okay, so this is the beginning. The first little nibble gets taken out of the sun. So, of course, we know when this is going to happen for hundreds of years in advance. But it's still pretty exciting. I've seen partial eclipses before and even annulars, but never this whole event. So the neat thing to look for, there's 4 or 5 sunspots right in the middle of the sun there. So it's neat when they show up. Right now, there's not a lot of sunspots on the sun. It's been quiet for quite a while. But it was nice, and this is right through a big lens that I had on a camera, so I didn't have to bring my big telescope. But this is, you wouldn't just be able to see that by looking at it. Go ahead, Bruce. Okay, so obviously it goes in slowly. That part takes a whole hour. So this might be about 10 minutes before the real thing starts happening. So there's a huge chunk taken off. This is more than you would have seen in Maine. You could already tell the temperature was getting colder. All kind of strange things were starting to happen, but the real thing didn't happen yet. Go ahead. Okay, so this is the first part. As Paul said, this is only 139 seconds. But of course, once you know that, then all kinds of other things happen in that time. So I want to point out to the lower left, at first I thought that might have been Mercury, because planets did show up instantly, but that's actually a star called Regulus in Leo. So I got a star right next to the sun, and the sun was in Leo last summer, almost exactly a year ago now. So I did get some stars. I saw a lot of them, but that's the only one I got a picture of. And that's that corona that extends to 3 million miles into space. Go ahead. All right, so there's some more pictures of the corona. The neat thing I want to point out, there's some nice reddish things around the upper left and upper right. Those are called prominences. Okay, they're not solar flares, because those are pretty rare. But the prominences are always there. And you can see them with a very special, expensive filter. But during the total eclipse, you can see them just by looking at them and magnifying them a little bit. But you can see them. And there's other images where they show up better, and the corona doesn't show up as well. Again, obviously, these are just images. It's nothing like the real experience, which is what I'm trying to get you to have when I finish up with this sermon. Go ahead. All right, so this is the diamond ring effect that I just took a picture of here. Again, this lasts less than a second. It's very dramatic. That's when you can really see the beauty of the sun versus, diamonds on Earth are kind of precious, but the sun's always there. And that's, where the real beauty and value of everything kind of is in the sun and not the things we do on the Earth. Go ahead. And then I just have one more diamond ring. And to the right, at about like 2 or 3 o'clock, there's another huge prominence. The sun is over 100 times the size of the Earth. So that little prominence is probably 5 times the size of the Earth. So just picture the Earth. It's 25,000 miles around. And then you got one little prominence, which is just an average size, and that's that many times bigger than the Earth. So I'll get into the size and power of the sun and all that too. But that's just a few images to kind of help set the stage a little bit. Okay, thanks, Bruce.